To feed or not to feed, that is the question. I'm sitting down with Dr. Simone and we're going to be talking about when to get our babies on the heavies.
Oh, off the milk and onto the good stuff?
Onto the good stuff.
All right. So this is an interesting one, and this is very much your baby is ready when your baby is ready and not a moment before.
Right.
There are a couple of, I guess, physical attributes that a bub needs in terms of being ready to start solids.
Okay.
So they need to be able to sit up and hold their heads up.
Right.
If their heads are still flopping all over the place,
don't force feed.
Don't force feed. So around about 4 months is the earliest possible time, but any time between 4 and 6 months is entirely acceptable to start solids.
Okay.
Babies will also let you know whether they're ready or not by either swallowing or spitting out.
Yeah.
And so if you're offering your baby some solids and your baby spits them out at you, that's fine. Leave it a week or two, come back to it.
Yeah.
They will start when they are ready.
I think that's so important because I know as mums we're always comparing each other's children to see, oh, well, this one's baby started eating at 4 months. Why isn't my baby eating at 4 months? But I guess we need to, it's case by case. Each child is different.
And so one child will start at 4 months. One child won't really take to it until 7 or 8 months. So it's a matter of just watching and knowing your child.
Is there some foods that we should try and avoid giving our kids at a young age, like meat, for instance?
Well, look, most of the time we like to start off with foods that are really easy for their guts to digest.
Right.
And so the foods that I like to recommend that parents start off with first are things like rice-based foods, so rice cereal and those sorts of things, and also fruits that are easy to digest. So things like pear and those sorts of things are really gentle on the gut and easy to digest.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, I mean, not to say that peanut butter ought to be your child's first food, but there's a lot of talk about allergies in children and food allergies in particular. And so if you are breastfeeding, then while you are breastfeeding is the best time to be introducing those allergy potential foods.
So as a mum we should be eating maybe eggs and peanut butter, or do you mean...
Unless you have a reason not to.
Right.
There's no reason to necessarily avoid those foods while you're breastfeeding. And if you are going to introduce those foods to your baby, do it while you're breastfeeding as well.
Not when they're younger?
Well, probably not the first things that they should be having.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask why?
Because they don't necessarily have the immune system to cope with that at that point in time.
Right. Is there other ways? Because I know I had 4 children and the first 3 were fine with mushed up food.
Yep.
And then I had Oceana and she just grabbed anything, just shoved it in her mouth. And I found out later there's a term.
That's called baby-led weaning. So there's two schools of thought when it comes to food. There's the spoon-feed puree school of thought, spoon-feed mash, and then there's your kid will grab and eat whatever they want to.
Right. Survival of the fittest, I call it.
And that tends to happen a little bit more in subsequent children.
Yeah, okay.
But no, making sure that they have good options to be offered to them there is a really good thing to do.
Not like a hard carrot or something like that.
Something that's... So sometimes those mesh feeder type options can be really useful to stop them from getting chunks of things that are too big for them to be able to swallow safely.
You can get them at supermarkets and then you just put the fruit in.
Very accessible. Have a suck on it, absolutely.
Right. There's some great tips there for when to start your child onto solids. So look, keep it locked right here. Mum's at the table.